with the computer hookup. Now, Mary Ann Moorman, my friend right here, had a Polaroid camera. Most of you might know her story. Took little black and white pictures, maybe no more than 3 inches by 3 inches. Come right out of the camera. You have to put a little fixative or gel on it, and you can only take a picture every 10 seconds at the quickest. Couldn't take one and then another one a second later. You'd have to wait at least 10 seconds, approximately, before you could take a second picture. When she took her picture, you see the grassy knoll in the background, and if you look at the full uncropped picture in some of the books that are out there, like Robert Groden's books, or you get on the internet, you'll see a figure across the street on the far right, Billy Newman. If you didn't know that, he's in her picture on the far right. You knew that, right, Billy?
No, it's news to me. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Okay. Well, you're in there. You're in the background of her Polaroid.
Must be so, if you say so.
Okay. So Mary Ann was there with her girlfriend Jean Hill, and many of the people that came out that day to see the motorcade were there to see President Kennedy, but not everybody. A lot of people were out there to see Jackie and what she was wearing. I think a lot of the women, I've read a lot of stuff on this case, a lot of interviews. I know some of the women that worked at the book depository, they wanted to go out. That was, of course, lunchtime. That was their lunch break, 12:30. Dallas time, they went out there and they wanted to see what Jackie was wearing. And I think, Mary Ann, you and Jean were mostly interested in seeing Jackie. Now, Mary Ann was there to take a picture for her son, Ricky. Ricky wanted to be there, if I have my facts right. Ricky was, I think, 11. Mary Ann said, no, you stay in school, but I'll take a picture for you. She did. Billy was 22 at the time and married to Gail, also 22. And they had read in the paper President Kennedy was coming to town. And with Billy Jr., his son, age 4, and Clayton, age 2, they said, hey, let's head out to Love Field. Let's catch a glimpse of the president when he lands. And they went out there, but they didn't all get a good look because it was crowded, and you got a chain link fence, and it moved quickly, and it was people all around Kennedy, Secret Service people and aides. Billy, knowing the route that had been published in the paper, said, hey, Gail, let's head over to Dealey Plaza. We'll get there before the motorcade does. They got over there, and they happened to stand on the north side of Elm, right on the sidewalk, directly in front of Abraham Zapruder, as I said, that filmed the assassination. And a step forward, he would have been in the street. So Mary Ann and Billy were probably 30 feet apart, separated by 3 lanes of traffic. Billy was supposed to bring his camera to Love Field, but forgot it, I guess, in the whole rush of things. So he would have been a photographer standing 10, 12 feet away from the president, may have taken some incredibly historic photographs if he had remembered the camera. But he didn't. He got there. He got to see the president, and they both happened to be standing exactly where the shooting occurred, right there on Elm Street. So sometimes people get thrown into history. You woke up today, meaning today, in 2017, just like I did, and I sort of knew what my day was. Okay, shave, brush my teeth, shower, put on clothes. I got to head over to this Crown Plaza. I'm giving a talk. You know, well, these people here all woke up that Friday too. It was a Friday. And they thought they had their day planned. And everything got thrown into history. Everything changed for them. So sometimes things just happen in life where, due to fate, coincidence, whatever you want to call it, things unfold and you become a part of history. If Kennedy had been shot like Governor Conley and survived, these honor guard guys wouldn't be here today. But because of the fact that a homicide occurred on Elm Street a half a mile west of here, these guys were called to duty and they did their job for 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, with honor, dignity, and precision. When you're carrying a coffin that weighs maybe 1,300 pounds, even if you got 9 guys carrying it, you're going up the steps of the Capitol building, down the steps of the Capitol building. You got to keep this thing level from front to back, side to side. Can't trip, can't sneeze. Everybody's watching you. Journalists, photographers, Jackie Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, Ted Kennedy, Rose Kennedy, President Kennedy's mother, journalists, foreign dignitaries. You better do your job. The one guy from the Air Force named Richard Goudreau was 27 at the time. He was the only Air Force guy that was part of this body bearer team. And he told me very clearly, Phil, I was the only Air Force guy. I felt the pressure of the whole Air Force on my shoulders. If I was the one to trip or sneeze or let go, drop the flag, drop the coffin, whatever, he said that would have been my ass. That would have been my career in the military. Now, he ended up being in the military for about 25 years, as did Bud with the Coast Guard. When these guys brought the coffin into Bethesda the night of the autopsy, they stood guard in the hallway, and they were asked by Lieutenant Sam Bird at one point, do you want to go in? Bud said no. Hubert said no. In other words, go in and see the dead president's body. However, there was an opportunity when the door opened for them to look in, and see the president lying on his back. Hubert said, Phil, it looked like he was asleep. He was lying on his back, and his neck was on a block. And I didn't comment on that at the time, but I'm going to comment on it now in a little while. Bud said he saw the president at 1.2 very briefly, but he didn't recall whether there was this block under his neck or not, right? Okay. So we got 2 people here that saw the president shot to death at 12:30. We got 2 people here that saw him lying dead later that day on his back in a morgue. So that's the connecting the dots of why these people are all together. They connect the dots from Dallas to Washington. When the autopsy was over, as I said, they did an embalming. They brought in this very heavy African mahogany wooden coffin, put Kennedy in it, brought him into the East Room of the White House. Jackie was there. She wanted the coffin open to take a look. She cut off a lock of his hair, according to all reports. And she said about these guys, no, they don't have to leave. It's okay. Hubert remembers crashing, so to speak, on a lower level of the White House carpet floor downstairs. They were exhausted. They hadn't been asleep. This is now 5, 6, 7 a.m. the next day. And over that weekend, these gentlemen, Bud and Hubert and the other guys, ended up carrying the coffin up the steps of the Capitol, where it lied in state. They carried it into St. Matthew's Cathedral for Catholic services, where John, on his 3rd birthday, gave the salute to his president, his father. And they carried it into Arlington National Cemetery. At 3:32 p.m., November 25th, 1963, Kennedy was interred. It was the 24th and final funeral that day at Arlington. As I said, it was Hubert's last funeral he ever did for the military, and it was Bud's first. These guys went their separate ways until they saw each other for the first time when I reunited them in the Chicago area a little over a year ago.